Alafia, welcome once again to the online IFA classroom. My name is David Graham. I go by Awo Ifafore at the IFA Foundation International. And today I want to talk about the concept of IFA as a spiritual discipline. I think I mentioned in one of the past videos that I would be expanding on this topic a little bit. I get asked through YouTube and emails and folks that I work with on a regular basis, how do you know all this? How did you learn this? How are you able to divine with the skill or the knowledge base that you do, etc., etc.? And I, inevitably answer the same thing. IFA is a spiritual discipline. In order to really get this at a meaningful level, it's like every other discipline. It is something that you must dedicate yourself to and that you must do with some sort of consistency. Let me make an example if I can. One of my hobbies that I do very poorly is I'm a less than average guitar player. But what I have found is that things in life remain consistent. And the only way that I have any chance to be a better than below average guitar player is to have the discipline to practice on a regular basis. My practice schedule is attempting to practice 30 minutes a day every single day because I want my learning curve to be steeper. That's not a must. I think you dictate your own practice schedule, but what I do think is crucial is having, again, the discipline to study your art, study your subject, in this case, study IFA, on some sort of a set schedule. We as Babalaos, in my opinion, need to be divining for ourselves at least once a week. We as Babalaos and Ian Ife need to be waking up every day, in my opinion, doing morning prayers, either at the absolute beginning of the day, or if that's just not possible for whatever reason, at the conclusion of each day. And those prayers should contain prayers to Ifa, prayers to Eshu, prayers to the Orisha, prayers to your Ori, prayers to your ancestors, and then anything else specific within that context. Your IFA spiritual discipline should include some time, either weekly or monthly, for IFA study. And that would be academic study, whether that is through good books, YouTube videos, mentorship of a senior IFA priest, whatever your way to funnel information to you is. Your IFA spiritual discipline should include making time, quarterly, semi-annually, whatever you can, to attend ceremonies. IFA is one of those philosophies that you can learn an awful lot academically from books. It will mean absolutely nothing without experience, without feeling, without mentorship, without going to ceremonies, attending readings, having readings done, and experiencing the energy that IFA has to offer. So, if you want to get to know the Orisha better, you want to get to know your guardian Orisha better, you want to get to know your ancestors better, whatever the case, you must make this a disciplined study. If you want to know your ancestors more, then you need to commit to pray to them on a regular basis. Again, I would suggest no less than once a week. If you have the time, certainly daily. And then follow up with disciplined approach to how are you going to get to know them better? Are you going to use Ancestry.com? Are you going to ask parents, grandparents, uncles, aunts to provide you pictures, stories, etc.? And what I have found is that understanding of ancestors, understanding of Orisha, understanding of Odu, understanding of Ifa, for me, has been like the blooming of a flower. Typically, it starts with a bud, an idea, a thought, a spark, and then through prayer, through meditation, through academic exploration, And then finally, through observation and feeling, it blooms and gives you more and more detail, more and more experience, more and more knowledge, etc. Again, the same can be said for the Orishas. You want to know about Orisha Oya? Then take the time to pray to Orisha Oya. Set up a space in your home for Orisha Oya. Go there on a regular basis and ask for her guidance, her wisdom, her understanding, and ask for her to show herself to you more, to unravel greater understanding of her energy. And do this on a set, regular schedule. When you have your arms around that, then maybe go look for Orisha Oya in nature. Go to a windy place and watch the leaves blown around and the debris moved and the stagnation cleared out and new things brought in, and begin to understand her energy on that level. And on your journey goes. But so many of us are weekend Ifa practitioners. So many of us set up places for Orisha or places for deities and go to them when we need something, rather than going on a schedule, whether we need it or not, and if nothing else, to say thank you and to offer Ebo for joy, fulfillment, for thanks, for enrichment. That's the truth, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, is that if you want to be great at anything, but specifically great at Ifa, great at understanding this philosophy, then a couple things need to happen. One, you need to have a mentor or teacher in some way, shape, or form that has some good character about them, that's willing to show you and answer questions. Two, it of course helps to have an academic understanding of Ifa to whatever degree you are capable. But third, and probably most important, it's about having the discipline to understand that Ifa is a spiritual discipline and that you need to make a schedule to do the work, as Iyavasa would say, to go to your shrines, to make your abos, to say your prayers, to listen to the messages that you're being given, to journal them down if and when necessary, to get out into the world and see the Orisha express themselves in nature. It can't just be when you need something. It can't just be when someone brings up the subject of Ifa and you think, oh, I haven't gone to my shrines in a while, or I haven't used my tools in a while, or I haven't made a bow in a while, I haven't had a reading in a while, let me go get one. That's fine if that's where you want to be in your spiritual development. And again, I'm not the spiritual development police. There is no higher or lesser value from the person that is uninitiated and comes to a Babalawo when he needs something fixed, to the Babalawo who does Ifa every day. The difference will be is that the Babalawo who practices Ifa every day will have a greater understanding, greater connections, greater ability to communicate with the forces of the earth, greater ability to move within that space, and certainly the ability to cause material changes when necessary and when guided by Ifa. But that's because he works it every day. And so, to wrap up a very long-winded answer, for those of you that are looking for a greater connection to any of this, get yourself a framework first, whether it's from a good book, from an accomplished author, a spiritual mentor, preferably the latter, and then set yourself up a disciplined schedule to do the work, to say your prayers, to make your ebos. And if you get stuck, if you're trying to get to know your ancestors and you're doing the work and you're going to them every day at a certain time and you're asking for help and you're leaving ebos and you hit a wall, ask them to help you. Ask them to clear away the obstacles. And you will probably be eerily surprised at the results that you get. I've said it before, I'll say it again. It requires work. It doesn't come to you for free. And you can go as far on this path as you dictate, but you have to be willing to do the work. No one else can do it for you. IFA, just like every other spiritual path for those that really want to know, really want to understand, is a spiritual discipline, and discipline being the operative word. So think about it, let it sink in, maybe start doing it if you're not already. And as always, you can email with questions, concerns, comments, or criticisms. Until next time, take care of yourselves and take care of each other.